Hello and welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this session, we are going to cover HBase, where we will see the fundamental concept behind HBase and how it will fit with the big data. And then later on, we will see the various usage scenario of HBase, and also we will see how search engine can leverage the HBase to implement the fastest search engine. And then later on we will see the HBase data models, various entities in the HBase like table, rows, column family, column qualifier, cell and its versioning, and then reasons and reason servers. And later on we will also see how designing of tables impacts for accessing the data and various coordinates for accessing the data. And at last we will see the how various operations can be performed to get and put the data into the HBase table. So let's start first with the fundamentals of HBase. So let me write down the topic: fundamental of HBase. So what exactly is HBase? HBase is an Hadoop database. Okay, so and this database is, we can summarize like open source database. It's multi-dimensional. What multi-dimensional? We will see how it is multi-dimensional. Third is sparse database. We will see the concept what exactly sparse means, and then sorted. It's a sorted map database. It's completely different from your normal RDBMS database. The way you retrieve, store, and everything. It's little complex to understand at the start. HBase database and distributed. As you know what distributed means, as we have been learning Hadoop, so Hadoop framework itself is completely work on the distributed concepts. And the data stored in accessed by row key. Whatever data is inserted into the HBase is accessed by the row key. And next is it's a column family database. So what column family is, we have already explained in our previous module, so you can listen it again if or watch it again if you have not gone through in detail. So we will also little bit see over here what is column family. So let's first start with the what distributed means over here. In the case of, okay, let me go. Suppose you have 4 computers in your HBase cluster. Okay, so this is your HBase cluster. So the data which is you are going to store in this, like one row of a file. So these are various rows in the file, correct? So while storing this row, it's like we see the table concept and row concepts is a little bit different. It distributed among various machines to give you the faster access of data. And as you know, like this HBase database is built on, like it needed some file system, that is distributed file system, that is called HDFS, as we have already discussed. So it works on this. So this is what distributed means: the data which you are going to store in HBase is also distributed among the various nodes. Okay, so now let's go. Fundamentally, HBase is a platform. HBase is a platform to retrieving data with random access. Random access. So whenever you need random read, random write on distributed platform or both, if you are considering a HDFS file system, you know you cannot do randomly anything, correct? So doing anything randomly on HDFS is not possible. So for that, there's a new database is designed where you can randomly read, write, or either both of the thing you can do with the HBase database. HBase is can able to store your structure. Obviously, structured data has to be stored in the list. Structure means CSV, comma separated file, tab separated file. These are a kind of example where you are going to store structured data. So file suited for the structured data. Similarly, for semi-structured data, where mostly this HBase is used, actually, frankly speaking. So semi-structured data is, I would say, XML data. Your tweets, your blogs, your email, or plain HTML document, complete HTML document is a semi-structured data which can easily be stored into the HBase file system. Sorry, HBase database, not a file system. HBase can also store your unstructured data, but there shouldn't be, like, this file should not be very large. Very large files are not supported. Like, large means in the more than 2 gigs files are not good to store in the HBase as well. You should directly use the HDFS rather than using the HBase database. Whenever you want to store unstructured data which is bigger than 2 gigs, then it's better to use SDFS directly rather than storing into the this is the right choice for this if data size is bigger, and HBase is not a right choice for this purpose. So HBase does not. Okay, so this is like what we have discussed about the structure, semi-structured data. Now data types. Regarding data types, HBase does not care about data types. And it allows you to dynamic and flexible data model that does not constrain any kind of data type. Why? We will see there is no constraint. It is no constraint on data types, like you have seen in the RDBMS database where there is a constraint, like whatever in the table you have decided, like this column would be type of number, this could be varchar, then you cannot insert, like in the number column you cannot store the string, correct? So this kind of constraint are provided. But if in place of RDBMS, if this is a HBase table, then it won't care, because we will see what is the reason. You can store in this column any kind of data type, like this. You can store string, integer, whatever, like binary data, XML data, whatever format you can store in the same column. There is no restriction even for the same column. Okay, so now let's move further. So what does it mean here? Like, if this is HBase table and this is 3 row, sorry, 4 columns, and this column is in the first row you have inserted integer, like you have 100 as an inserted. Similarly, if you are in second column and if you want to store something, then I would directly store John, something kind of thing. It is not necessary, like it always, this first column once is defined as a, like not defined, you have stored as a number, and second can be stored as a string. So this is okay, and this is very flexible. In any column you can store anything, like here you can store XML data, and here this is still your integer. So this kind of possibility is there in the HBase. Okay, HBase is a horizontally HBase you can horizontally scale, because you know the, like HBase is based on the HDFS, and you know HDFS can be easily scaled by adding just one more node if you want to scale it. So similarly, HBase can also be scaled by adding the new nodes into it. Now let's see the category of the normal database categories, and where HBase fits actually. Database categories, if we can divide the database in two categories. One is OLTP database and another is OLAP database. Okay, so OLTP database is your database which are transactional, which actually business transaction like bank fund transfer, one kind of transactions, like data is removed, so fund is removed from one account and deposited in another account, needs to be done in the transaction manner. So it should happen in the single transactions. Okay, now second is a online, this full form of is online transaction processing. So real time transaction data has to be done using OLTP database. So this database involves Oracle database, your MySQL database, SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, RDBMS. These are the databases which are part of this OLTP database. What is OLAP database? OLAP database is online analytic processing. So this is are used for the analytical queries, like this database is a generally read database where you store all the data which you want to analyze, like you so you store your like if you consider eBay, okay, eBay or Amazon, where whatever the product they have keep selling on their website is stored in this database, and later on they completely analyze this data as per their need, and based on this analytics they want to create the report on this. So this kind of reports would be generated out of this database. So this database doesn't need any transaction. Some batch processing is executed over on this. So batch processing example is the MapReduce is one of the example. It will run and finally generate one reports, and based on this report business can take the decision. So business can take the decision on what to do to enhance our business. So OLAP falls in the domain of business intelligence. So this database are under the business intelligence. It comes under the business intelligence. Okay, and where data is explored, processed, and analyzed to glean information that could further be used to derive business decision. Okay, now let's move to the another topic, basic principle of using HBase. So where you should consider of using the HBase, when you need random write, random read, or both. Like we have already discussed this topic, this point, random read, write, or both is needed, then you consider using the HBase. You need to do thousands of operations per second, thousands of operations per second. Then you should consider like on even on the data volume of terabytes. If your data volume is terabyte or plus or petabytes, then you can use HBase where you need thousands of operations. So huge volume of data and you want it to do the too much operation on the data, then considering the HBase is the best choice. Okay, and third thing is your access pattern is very simple. It's like not very simple but simple. Actually, that what I mean access pattern is simple is actually your like in RDBMS you can do any query, correct, like joining of two tables and then finally get the result, 3 tables, 4 tables, whatever. But it is preferred in HBase you do not have joins among the tables. So like whatever data you want to access in the should be available in single table, because the amount of data which holding in the HBase in a table is like so huge, like it could have a like single table could be terabyte in size. And you know that like getting the data out of joining this two tables which are in the terabyte size Like if you join this both the tables, then it will take lot of time. So this kind of requirement is not good supported into the HBase. So where your access pattern is simple, where you directly accessing the data from one table for your processing, like map reduce batch you want to run on this data, then it's better you just access your data through the single table. So that's good idea. So HBase data can be easily like integrated with the map records, as you know, and each row could be the one record as an input for the for the map reduce. Now next is the data layout. Exact it's a key value database. Okay, so we'll see the how key. So if whenever you are extracting the data and if you're providing the value for proper key to fetch the data, then it will be very fast. No penalty for sparse columns. Okay, so what exactly the sparse columns we will discuss. Let me tell you right away. So don't wait for this. Sparse means, like, suppose you are having a one table where you want to store the data. So let's say first row has 4 columns with the value A, B, C and D. This is first row. Okay. So row 1. Second row, row 2, this. And this row might have A, then directly the C column and then D column. Next column is not there. So this is row 3. So it's better let me empty it over C and D. Okay, now this third row could have directly B as the first column, then D only. So this kind of table is possible in the, so like exactly this only 2 column would be there in the, even like value for A and B column is not there for this row, so no storage at all. So you can see the design, like it will, like now final look wise the it becomes like this. Click finally. So finally this is this your storage. So this is called sparse table, where some sparse means clearly like some data is exists in between or some data is not there in between. So this kind of is model is also well supported in case of HBase. So where we should not use HBase. You should not use HBase where your requirement is only keep appending the data and later on read the whole data together wherever is need. So because your files is become too large, and if you are keep adding and at last you want to read the whole data in one shot, then it is not good to use the HBase. Rather it is suggested you use the HDFS, where you directly store all the data in the single file, and then later on you can read it for your batch processing or whatever you need it. So it's HBase is not good fit where you need the append only mode and keep reading and keep at last you read the whole data. And your query is ad hoc query. Ad hoc query means like exactly what some one part of them is join, where we have already discussed. If you need join, then you should avoid using this. The next is like if you are like ad hoc query. Let me explain you. Suppose you have a table and there is a salary as a column. Okay, so now this salary has 1,000, 10,000 or whatever is the salary, 999 or whatever 2,000. So this is an employee table, this is a salary column. Okay, so like this is employee ID column. Now give me the all the employees whose salary is greater than $1,000 per month. So that then this kind of query is like ad hoc query. Some other person is like querying like this, less than, give me all the data which where the salary is less than $1,000. So this kind of query is not very well supported, because accessing data in HBase is using the row key only. So each row would have one key which is very well indexed. So and values are not indexed in the case of HBase, as you can see in the other RDBMS like MySQL, Oracle, right, where the secondary indexes are supported, but here only one index is very well supported, that is called row key. So each row would be accessed using this row key only. So you should not use the HBase where you have lot of ad hoc query. And the third point is like when your data size is very small data size, like which can like 2 terabyte, like, or up to 20 terabyte or something, like which can easily fit into the single machine, then you should not use your, this is not final value 20 terabyte or something. This could be like, it depends on your machine capacity. If your single machine can hold the data, even 20 terabytes is good enough data, you can use your Hadoop system to process the 20 terabytes of data. But you have 2 terabytes or 3, 4, 5 terabytes of data, as easily it can fit into the RDBMS, then you can use, you should rather use the RDBMS rather than using the a Hadoop based database, that is called HBase. Okay, so now this is what I mean actually, where to use the HBase and where not to use it. So now let's move to the one example, like search engine using HBase. Suppose you have to design a search engine, like it's like very short example, and how you can use the Hadoop based database like HBase and Hadoop framework to design your search engine. So like here are 6 or 7 steps which I would really like, in short, very short. Search engine is a big thing, but in short, like how companies are using the Hadoop system to make a search engine. Okay, so searching over the internet is divided in two parts. First part is indexing. So all the document on the internet needs to be first indexed and then searching. Okay, so these are the actually two division. Okay, so let me draw the diagram first. Okay, so this is your internet world, and there are various websites and blogs on the internet, correct? Each day thousands, or not even thousands, millions of blogs and tweets are added on the internet. Okay, so what search engines crawlers, there are various crawlers which are small software component which keep iterating over the internet. Okay, and this is the first step, which read all the document, completely read all the document from the internet, and then while reading, after reading this document, what they do is actually after reading each document, what they do is actually they store this document into the HBase. So this is your HBase database. So each individual document is stored over here. This is, like, I would say HTML document. This is another HTML document, and corresponding their row key, and based on this, like, some keyword analysis has been done. Okay, so this is first step. This is second step. Over this data, whatever the stored on the HBase, of some MapReduce will be executed. So MapReduce batch job would be executed. This is second step. Okay, and this MapReduce job will analyze this each document individually, and based on then some keywords would be created for search engine. Keywords would be created, and based on keywords, like, it would store this database, this your whatever the indexing they have to do. So like this is the indexing part, correct? So they will store it into the RDBMS database, rather than, it's not necessary they would have stored this into the your, what I would say, in HBase, or they could also store into the RDBMS. Okay, now this is like how indexes is done, and also this data is cached. So like this is the keyword plus which documents to be point or something, this kind of indexing is done. So like if you are just searching for Java, then it will automatically goes to the Oracle page, would be like pointing to the Oracle page, and which is stored over here, like, kind of thing. Now next part is, so this is the third part, indexing. Okay, now you are as an user, you want to search something on your computer. So in your browser you search something like Java. Java is a keyword. As you open a google.com or something search engine, you open it, so you just enter the Java. So Google what exactly is do, it directly goes to this RDBMS system and find out all the possible indexes using the Java keyword. It would happen in background and very fast. Okay, so Java, and it will read the whatever indexing is done, and it will load all the results in the search engine pages based on this RDBMS. And as soon as you click on this, based on that, the document will be presented to you directly, either cached document, but generally not a cached document. Caching is done only for the search indexes, and directly go to the website and load the document. So this way the HBase is stored. So the role of the HBase in whole search engine is to store your HTML document, and later on this HTML document, whatever are stored in the HBase, are, it's like, it's a very small example. Okay, it's like it could have stored many other information, like who owns the website kind of thing, like various metadata information about this piece or something, when it's updated, or kind of various information about this is being stored in the HBase. And the map reduce job would be run to final analyzed data has to be kept in somewhere in the RDBMS or some other places, and as well as in the cache. So whenever you fire the query on the search engine, it will automatically, or very fast way, it will fix the data, which is this data. How it is cached is a different thing, but this is the way the data would be fetched from the this place, and it will be shown to the client. So this is the way how the HBase has a good role into the, like so, and this is not necessary, this is the HTML document. Okay, this could be the PDF document, your Microsoft document, your text document, whatever is the available on the internet will be stored and analyzed later on for the purpose of making the indexing on the search engine. So this is how HBase is used in the search engine. So now HBase is built of two things. Okay, one is Apache Hadoop. Rather than Hadoop, I would say it's HDFS. Okay, and second part is Zookeeper. Zookeeper is, we will have next session on this, is a service which controls the whole cluster of the HBase. Okay, so we'll see the later on what exactly is the rule. So made of the two things, and you can install HBase again in the same, like the way you do the Hadoop, in the different mode. So like standalone mode, so single node cluster, as you know, standalone mode. Secondly, in the pseudo distributed mode, single machine, but all the processes are running in the different like all the daemons are running in the different processes. Okay, so this is pseudo distributed mode. And third is actual distributed. This is actual production cluster for your database. Okay, so now one more important thing to learn about HBase to keep in mind is that HBase is essentially written in Java, and most of the API, which is like very well supported, is also written in Java. So while working, if you do not have any Java knowledge, then it would be little difficult. So it is suggested you learn the Java to work on HBase, because the accessing data through the HBase in the HBase is like through the shell, either which is only for the administration or development purpose, and second is for some little bit analysis, and second thing is the Java API. So you have to write one application to read the data from the HBase. So this is Java API, where from which you can read the data, write the data into the HBase. So learning Java is needed for working in the HBase. Now let's move to the next topic, that is data model in HBase. Okay, before that, like I wanted to discuss about the logical entities which is like kind of data model, part of data model only, logical entities in HBase. So we will discuss each and individual logical entities in HBase. So let's first discuss about the table. Okay, so similarly in RDBMS you have the table, correct? In HBase also you have table. So this is your whole table, okay, which organized data. So HBase organized data into tables, and tables names are like whatever the name you will give has to be the string only, table name, but there is no limit, like kind of 30 character limit in the Oracle, which you, like you cannot give the table name more than 30 characters. But in the HBase there is no limit on the giving the name of the HBase table, but you have to, yeah, keep in mind like it has to be based on the characters only, because this table name is used as a file system path when the data is stored for the HBase file system. Now next component is the row. Okay, so now a table has the various rows. Okay, it seems like it is similar to RDBMS, but I will show you it's completely different than RDBMS. Okay, this is the row, so I will make you easy for you to understand by drawing this. So within a table, data is stored according to its rows are uniquely identified your row key. So this is, each row has to be uniquely identified in the H table, and this is the parameter which identify the each individual row is called the row key. So I would say this is 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004. This could be the unique identifier. Generally this is not a valid identifier. You will give the timestamp or something, some proper value which uniquely identify each row, okay, to access it. But the important thing is, like I have shown over here as a 1001 as a row key, but actual while storing inside in the background is actually it's a binary data rather than this kind of character data. It's like it's a binary data, so it would be 0 1 0 1 0 1 or 1 1 0 0, something kind of. This is the final row key, because this is the byte array only. This is byte array. Each row key is a byte array, so there's no data type, any data type. Like it, this could be like string row key. You could have as a string, as a what I would say is like integer or whatever, boolean. Sorry, boolean is not good idea, obviously this is true false. What I mean here is the long, sorry, like long or integer something. You could have floating point values as well as this kind of values. This is a row key. So generally long is people use because timestamp is used as a row key. So uniquely identified. Now column family. So before going into the column family, let me put here is each row would have some column, right? I would say this row has this many columns, this row has again same number of columns, this has only 2 columns, okay, 3 columns. Okay, so column data within a row is grouped by a column family. So this is the column family. So each table would have multiple column family. It's not necessarily, but you could have multiple column family. So I would say there are, this table has 3 column family. Okay, so this is CF1, CF2 and CF3. There is 3 column family. So this A, B and C, A, B and C similarly, but A, B, okay, C also there, A, B, C, 3 column is there. But here D, E, F, G, D, E, F, and here is nothing, empty. So, and this is another column, H, only single column, H and I, and there is nothing. So this way this table is divided in 3 different column family. So the data which is you need very regularly together, you always keep into the single column family. Why, we will see actually also. So these are the division, like each table is divided So data within the row is grouped by column family. Column families also impact the physical arrangement of data stored in HBase. Why physical storage? Because each column family data is stored in each file. Actual physical file on your disk would be stored on this disk. This file would be stored. So data which is accessed regularly should have to read only single file if they have defined in a single column family. So what I would say, like let me draw it clearly again. Suppose you have an employee table, correct? So one column is ID, another column is name, first name, second name, salary, address, phone number, and zip code. This kind of column you will have, correct? In a generally your table, or in RDBMS you could have in a two different table. So similarly here I would suggest you decide two column family inside an employee table. Sorry, salaries also should be included here over here. So this is like employee as a table, but column family one is the metadata information about the employee, and this is the address information about the employee. So this two column family. So whenever it is stored on the disk, all the data which is like metadata would be stored together, and all the address data which is not frequently accessed would be in a different column family. And it's like they don't necessarily have to be joined, because whenever you are accessing the data, you not necessarily you are just doing your monthly calculation for the employee salary or whatever we wanted to do the some calculation. That time you don't need the address, phone number, zip code or something, and then you can use this basic metadata information and use the whole thing. So while reading the data from the metadata and so from the column family, they have to read only single file, because the data, another data is stored in the another file. So this would make it faster. You are loading the data which is only needed by you. So that is why it is always said in the you should use in NoSQL world very simple structure of the query. So whatever data you need it, you put into the one single column family, all needs to be together, so access pattern would be very fast. And if you have to read this address in the single row as well, then both the table has to be joined, and then data has to be fetched. Even though it is a faster because it is a row key based, but it's like it has to read two different files and then make a final join or whatever it's like to fetch the final value. So you keep all the data together in a single column family, whatever you wanted to access regularly in a group. Okay, for this reason they must be defined upfront and can't be easily modified. What does it mean is actually whenever you are creating your database, the column family has to be decided at the first, and then later on they cannot be modified. Because if you want to modify this column family, let's move this salary column from here to this column family, then you can understand like this has already terabytes of data, this already has terabytes of data, and changing to do this kind of change has lot of background processing to be run. So you decide your column family at the start, and it should be a very well defined column family. Every row in a table has the same column families, although a row need not store data in all its column families. And it's like it's the same thing. Even though like you have another row in the same column family, and each column would not have the data. Suppose here you don't have the phone number and zip code, and this value won't be stored, as we have already discussed, because this is considered as a null value, and null values are not stored in the HBase database. They are completely ignored. Okay, and similarly the table name, the column family name also should be the proper character, because they are also used in the file system path while storing the data. Now let's move to the another entities, that is called column qualifier. It's not uh, different from the column name in your RDBMS world. So each column, like this is first name, job. So this become your column qualifier. So similarly each column would have one column qualifier name. So in the HBase world, the good thing is like it is not necessary like you would always have the value as a for column. You could have as a this first name as well as, so this column name itself you can decide as a value, and the value part would be the empty to store the to save the space. Suppose you are storing some event or something and you just wanted to store it, so just give the name of the each column as a that event, whatever it's like timestamp or whatever you want to have it, and just use it. No value needs to be stored. Okay, that is I call column qualifier. Then the cell. Okay, so now this is your individual cell, where this is the column qualifier and the value part in this. So this become your complete cell in a row, right? So a combination of row key, column family, and column qualifier. Okay, combination of these three things. One is okay, let me make it better. This is your row. Okay, so this is row key. Then one column family, which is like I would say this many columns in this column family, 3 column, and this remaining column 2 column 4 and 5, 1 2 and 3 in this column family, CF1 and CF2. Okay, and column qualifier. So this is the column qualifier, the name of the column. So this is column qualifier CQ. This is also CQ3, is CQ2, CQ3. So this individually, these three things define your single cell. If you want to fetch the cell 1, then you need the row key as a 1, then column family as a CF1, and the column column qualifier as a CQ1. So these three things will give you the final result as a cell 1. Okay, so now next topic is versioning. This is very important concept. Okay, so the data which is stored in the HBase world is always version. Suppose you have a, I would say, first name stored as a, by mistake spelling you made a wrong, JHUI, and it was done at 11:30 AM any day or something stored. Now later on you realize like I have made a spelling mistake and the data should be corrected. So you made this correction JOHN on 12:30 PM for this data. So now HBase won't delete this data. HBase will keep this data as well as this data, and by default HBase keeps 3 versions of data, and each versions would be like assigned a time, and that is timestamp, and this is the long data type. So this is store whole long string for the each data type. So it would store like I would say timestamp whatever 1111992 something, and the value is a John. The second is after some time they have changed it to the 999 to the actual value. So this both the versions are stored. The benefit of this, sometimes what happens, there is a regulatory required. Whatever data was in your database, like some companies works on the finance world, they need the previous version of data as well as to show into the regulatory requirement. Okay, so not only the regulatory requirement, sometimes you have generated report at 11:30, correct? So when the data was, you have generated report 11:30, the graph was something like this for your whatever analysis you are doing, correct? Now you have also run the same report, and at 12:30 the graph something like this. So now you wanted to know why this is the difference. Even I am running on the same database, my report has been generated for the same day, like on, I would say this is reported generated for 1st January, this is also generated for 1st January, but you have done this report generation in the morning around 11:30, and you have done this report generation around 2:30. So why there is a difference? The difference is because the latest data, whatever stored in your database, would be considered until and unless you define or explicitly point out like I need the version data which was as on 11:30 a.m. So the accordingly the report would be generated out of this. So whatever exact data was at 11:30, so you wanted to do the back testing of your data, then also it's good to use HBase version 8. So by default HBase maintains for each cell there are 3 versions of data would be maintained in the case of HBase. So in the HBase world, we have table. So this table may have one or more column families as we have discussed, but it is what it is suggested you have lesser number of column family. Don't create too many column family for the tables. Like you should have very less number of column family, as less as possible. Column family should rarely change. It should not change regularly, as we have seen the impact. Like it requires like big change in the backend. It's not on backend but processing of the data and management. A column family can have any number of columns. So like it's like if you have a column family defined and in a table you have defined, and your column family has could have millions of columns, millions of columns in a single column family is possible, or only one or two column also possible, or second row would have, and third row would again have million columns. So this kind of columns is supported in the world of what I would say HBase. Okay, so let me discuss again whatever we have understood till now. So this is the your table, correct? This table would have row key, employee ID 1, employee ID 2, employee ID 3 to identify the row. This is the first name. How this is metadata column family. So about the employee, metadata is stored over here. So like this is the first name, last name, first name, last name. This is again first name, last name. It is possible like the second would might not have, this third record might not have the last name as well. Like here is the example in the column family. So for same record, same row, there is another column family which keeps storing this your unstructured data, that is image files are stored here in the this column family, and this person doesn't have image. So the way the data is stored in the column family seems to look like this. Okay, now let's move to this another example where, so like we will discuss what exactly is the reason later on. So let me start over here. Row key reverse URL. So some URL based information is stored in this column family, that is called contents. This column family has row key as a URL in reverse order, and this is the timestamp which is like for each record when it was stored in this database. So this is HTML content for all record, and this is the timestamp is stored in. So this is the cell, the web page content. So this is case of the where you have stored in search engine. In case of search engine you want to store your data. Now similarly this is another column family that is called anchor column family. So this is again with the row key is and it is all sorted. Okay, so the data is always in the row key are sorted. Okay, now this is column keys for to identify the column qualifier or referencing the size, and this is your timestamp, and this is your link to metadata. So where has to be your metadata. So the way the data is stored. So